You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Monday, February 2nd. I'm Johnny Connor. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know. Let's get to our top story today. A dramatic first day on the job for Target's new CEO. After a weekend of stores stocked with anti-ICE protesters, another rally was held this morning outside the chain's headquarters in Minneapolis. Our Jason Rantala checked out their HQ and what's behind all these protests.
Protesters say they want Target to use their influence to help end ICE operations in Minnesota. This comes after in-store protests over the weekend. Organizers say thousands participated at more than 36 Target stores across the state and country. That includes the Target in Richfield. Protesters say one of the biggest Minnesota companies is refusing to stand with them. Their demands for Target to keep ICE out of their stores and parking lots. Last week, new Target CEO Michael Fidelki joined 60 other CEOs of Minnesota-based companies calling for an immediate de-escalation of tensions and for state, local, and federal officials to work together to find real solutions. This morning, speakers addressed the new CEO.
As you know, Michael, Target relies on immigrants, from the workers in your stores to the drivers who deliver groceries for Shipt to the people who grow and process the food that you sell. We're asking you to speak out against the violent abductions of those workers, our neighbors, our fellow workers, our family members.
Fidelki actually stopped at a Target store in Texas this morning. Our CBS station in Dallas had plans to interview to ask directly what are Target's plans regarding ICE, but we're told that he canceled that interview. I have reached out to Target for more details.
Number 2, Columbia Heights Public Schools closed today due to a bomb threat. In a social media post, the district said that out of an abundance of caution due to a credible threat, Columbia Heights Public Schools will be closed today. No students or staff should report to school. Columbia Heights Police says a bomb threat was emailed to several schools in the district. They swept the schools indicated and found no suspicious packages or devices. Authorities say they will continue to investigate the source of the threats, and classes are expected to resume tomorrow. And that brings us to number 3. A 5-year-old Columbia Heights student is now back home. Liam Ramos and his father are back in Minnesota today after a judge ordered their release from a Texas detention facility. The young boy has captured the attention and hearts of so many since he and his father were taken by immigration agents in Columbia Heights more than a week ago. And we've been following this case ever since, and now a court order mandated their release. Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro says he picked up 5-year-old Liam and dad Adrian, escorting them back to Minnesota yesterday morning. Many in the Columbia Heights community, like Mayor Amada Marquez Simula, say they are grateful to see them return, but they also share concerns for other students who they say are still in Texas.
We know how much trauma is going to be going through the family for so long, and the community is ready to support them. We in Columbia Heights are like, we're not done until our families come home.
Assistant DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement, quote, "The facts in this case have not changed. ICE did not target or arrest a child," close quote. Meanwhile, the judge who ordered their release acknowledged the two may ultimately be deported, but, quote, "that result should occur through a more orderly and humane policy than currently in place." And in a statement, the Columbia Heights School District says Liam's release is a great and important development. They added that we want all children to be released from detention centers and hope for the reunification of families who have been unjustly separated. The school's superintendent says the students still there in that detention center range in age from 17 to as young as 2nd grade. And now for a little more background on this story, representatives for Liam and his father said the family is from Ecuador and that they entered the U.S. in 2024. They did so under a now defunct Biden-era system that allowed asylum seekers to use a phone app and schedule an appointment that would then be processed at a border entry. DHS has said it has no record of the family using that app. According to Justice Department records that were reviewed by CBS News, Liam and his father have active pending immigration court cases. That means that they are facing deportation proceedings before an immigration judge. But it also means they cannot be legally deported until a judge fully adjudicates their cases. A lawyer for the family has said Liam's father does not have a criminal record. DHS officials have not argued otherwise. Number 4 today. 1 year after a homicide in Hastings, investigators are renewing their call for help. The Washington County Sheriff's Office has released a new video that highlights portions of evidence in the unsolved killing of 74-year-old William Eichholt. Eichholt was found dead in a ditch near Ravenna Trail last year. The newly released video includes an image from the last time he was seen, along with body-worn camera footage, crime scene photos, and interviews with investigators who responded to the case. Authorities say the goal is to generate new tips as they continue working toward an arrest and conviction. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of up to $1,000 for information that leads to an arrest or conviction. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact police. And you can watch the full 6.5-minute video right now on the Washington County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. Those are your 4 things to know today. Let's check in on our next weather forecast.
Hi, I'm next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows. Your forecast as we head into tonight, temps dropping down to the single digits. It will be chilly. We're down to 6 tonight. Tomorrow, more sun, but a high of only 18.
And now, here's more to know.
We are following developments after a house explosion in northern Minnesota. 2 people are dead and 8 others displaced after the explosion and fire in Hermantown on Saturday night. Hermantown is just outside of Duluth. Officials say the sound and boom of the explosion were so significant that they were heard as far as 12 miles out. Hermantown police were on the scene within 3 minutes, and they began trying to evacuate the homes. Crews worked for a few hours to contain the explosion and fire. Officials said there were no other injuries for both residents or first responders. Today, we learned 2 more people have been arrested in connection to the St. Paul Church protests. Attorney General Pam Bondi posted this statement on X, saying in part that, quote, "If you riot in a place of worship, we will find you. We have made 2 arrests in connection with the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Their names are Ian Davis Austin and Jerome D'Angelo Richardson. Those 2 are facing charges after storming into City's Church last month to confront the pastor who leads ICE operations in St. Paul. Ian's attorney has since responded with a statement saying, quote, "Ian is a veteran who loves this country. For him, being here and speaking up about the American values he believes in is part of that service." Hundreds of bikers took to the streets of Minneapolis this weekend in honor of Alex Preddy. Many of them wore yellow vests that said, "Peaceful observer, don't shoot." Cyclists traveled about 9 miles through South Minneapolis. They started at Washburn Park before making stops at Preddy's Memorial Site, Renee Good's Memorial, and the VA Hospital. The ride was organized by Angry Catfish Bike Shop, where Preddy was a customer. The movement spread with events planned across the country and even a few in European countries. Preddy's family thanked everyone who took part, calling the overwhelming support comforting and a demonstration that there is still goodness in the world. They also said that Alex wanted to make the world a better place for all, and he would be so happy seeing the incredible support from the close-knit biking community. Now to political news. We are currently in a partial government shutdown, but the House is expected to get back to work in Washington today. Several federal agencies saw their funding lapse this weekend after funding legislation did not make it through both the Senate and the House. The Senate passed a funding package on Friday, but the House still needs to approve that package. The bipartisan deal includes 5 long-term spending bills while extending funding to the DHS for 2 weeks. Democrats initially pushed back on voting for DHS funding in hopes of negotiating immigration enforcement reforms amid the federal crackdown in Minnesota. The House Rules Committee will consider the bill this afternoon, and that's the last stop before it reaches the House floor. Now, it is unclear if the House plans to vote on the package today, should it get through the committee on time. The partial government shutdown, however, will not result in tens of millions of Americans losing their food assistance benefits this time. But other travel could be hindered again, and some people might not be able to get certain loans to buy homes or operate small businesses. And sticking with politics for a second, a statewide campaign tour is now underway ahead of tomorrow's precinct caucuses. Republican gubernatorial candidate and Minnesota House Speaker Lisa Damuth and her running mate Ryan Wilson kicked off the tour this morning with a press conference in St. Paul. The pair is making stops in 8 cities across Minnesota today. They're promoting caucus participation and outlining their priorities for the state. The tour comes one day before Minnesotans head to precinct caucuses, which is the first major step in the state's election season. Turning now to some entertainment news, comedian Dave Chappelle announced a surprise show in St. Paul coming up on February 16th. That's just 2 weeks from tonight. In a press release, organizers say Chappelle's decision to perform in Minnesota exemplifies his decades-long commitment to showing up for communities in crisis and using comedy as a force for connection and solidarity. It's Chappelle's second performance at Grand Casino Arena. The first was back in 2023. That show holds the arena's record for highest attendance of a single-night comedy show. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at noon. Let's talk sports. The Wild play their last home game tonight, and then they go to Nashville, and then the Olympic break is here. The Wild host the Montreal Canadiens tonight. Now, Minnesota coming off a win Saturday 7-3 over Edmonton. Get this, the Wild had 7 total goals. Every one of them was scored by a different player, so a bunch of different contributors getting that big win in Edmonton, and now they hope to get another one versus another Canadian team. And sticking with sports, new month, new beginnings for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Remember, they had 5 straight losses last month, but tonight they're going for their 5th straight win. They're still in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Now the Wolves did beat them on Saturday night. Right now, Minnesota 5th place in the Western Conference. There are still about 30 games left in the season. Tip-off tonight at 6:30. And speaking of the Wolves, Anthony Edwards named to the Western Conference All-Star team. This marks Ant's 4th consecutive All-Star appearance. The only other Wolves player to be an All-Star 4 or more consecutive times, Kevin Garnett, the one and only big ticket. Now the All-Star game happening Sunday, February 15th in L.A.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
Today is February 2nd. That means it's Groundhog Day. Punxsutawney Phil made his prediction earlier this morning on if there will be an early spring or more winter ahead. This year, he says, 6 more weeks of winter. Yeah, perfect. Looking at the last 10 years of forecast dating back to 2016, Phil has forecasted more winter 6 times and early spring 4 times. Let's hope Phil is wrong, right? I think all Minnesotans, or most, would hope Phil is wrong. I do enjoy getting outside, playing some pond hockey, but man, it's been really cold lately. But this week looks a little better. So, you know what? Whatever happens, I guess. And I know Phil controls it. So what he says goes. I'm Johnny Connor. This has been 4 Things to Know. You can listen to us every day by 3 o'clock. Thanks so much for listening today. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.